Welcome to video number 2. Video number 2 of 2023. 2023. What are we talking about today? Oh, today's a good one. Today's a good one because I'm going to change your life today. And that's my freaking phone. All right. Here today are 3 simple things that you can do right now that isn't going to take a lot of time from you. One's more like a life lesson, and the other 2 are little things you can do to improve your swing today. Maybe you've been playing the rock gigs around town, and maybe you want to break into more of the jazz thing. So here is 3 things that you can do to improve your swing right now, today, and it's more about here than it is about here, although this is involved too. All right, number 1. Are you ready? Number 1. Number 1. It's 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. It's 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. Oh, what do you mean? I'm going to take us to the drum lab, to my partner Vince, or maybe I'm Vince, I don't remember. Anyway, and show you what I mean. Number 1, this is an easy one to fix right now. As a matter of fact, one of my students did this while I was talking to him and said these words. Oh my God, my swing sounds better already. Okay, take it away, Vince.
I think I'll grab something later in the laboratory.
Grandpa, you know you're not supposed to smoke before breakfast.
Thanks, Vince. If you don't know how my life is falling apart right now, I may be doing this literally from a street corner pretty soon if something doesn't change. Please support the channel. My God in heaven. 2 years. Nobody. I'm doing it anyway. That's stubborn. Okay. So, about 442 subscribers from nothing. Okay. 2 and 4, not 1 and 3. I correct this in many of my younger students, and what I mean by younger is because I'm like 100 years old, like 20s, early 30s that have maybe been playing either rock or R&B, and somehow they got the idea of doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. But that's not really swing. That's not really good swing. You have to think of it this way. That's sort of rolling down the hill. You know, you're rolling down the hill. Because 1 and 3, that's your downbeat, right? But swing it's up. It's up. When you listen to the good swing players, they're not accenting 1 and 3, they're accenting 2 and 4. So listen to the difference. 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 1, 2 to 3, 4. So let me just play a little bit, right? So you can hear. I'm going to add the hat. You hear that? Let me go the other way. So you see, that way it has more of a Latinish kind of feel. There's nothing wrong with the flowing downhill. It's kind of, you know, maybe it's that Latin dance kind of thing. I'm not sure. But when you listen to Max Roach, Blakey, Philly Joe, Jimmy Cobb, they're doing this. I literally told this to a person not too long ago who was doing it the opposite way, and they switched it, and they go, oh my God, my swing sounds better now. It sounds better immediately. That's how good this is. That's how good. Second little side note, when you're practicing this, put your metronome on 2 and 4. 2 and 4. Now, do you need some kind of crazy fancy metronome? No. Right? If you want to play at 120 swing and have the metronome on 2 and 4, just set the metronome for 60 and count it like it's 2 and 4. Me, I got a fancy one. I hit a special button and it just plays 2 and 4 for me. But that's how you practice it. All right, this is going to be a quick one today. Back to you, Vince. Number 2. I'm going to be a little cryptic. I'm going to let Vince explain it. I don't know why I'm saying that. I don't know why, because I don't think any of you find it funny at all. I just do. And really, in the end, if you knew the week I had, oh my God. In the end, I guess I'm the only one that cares if it's funny or not. All right, number 2. It's music, guys, not math. Show 'em, Vince. All right, this is going to be a little harder to explain. A music, not math. In other words, you know, when you're playing in a regular 4/4 type thing, 1N, 2N, 1E into 2N, you know, you kind of know where you got to place things because you kind of know where that 16th note is or where that 8th note is. And people want to know where to put the skip beat in swing, right? Is it a triplet? Is it 1, 2N to 3, 4N to 1? Or is it a 16th note? 1, 2E into 3, 4E into 1, 2E into 3. The truth is, it's neither. It's about the bounce. Slower tempo. So even if it's slow, you can kind of squeeze those two notes together. Now, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is swing, real swing, is about this bounce with your fingers. Watch my fingers. It's a real drop and catch, right? A real drop and catch. But it's neither a 16th note or a triplet. It falls somewhere in between. So let's talk about the grace for a second. If you listen to a guy like Art Blakey, his swing was definitely closer to the triplet. Closer to the triplet. If you listen to Buddy Rich or Tony Williams, they definitely err closer to the 16th note. You know, it's a tighter swing. But it's about that bounce. It's about that bounce. And we're also talking about 3 tiers of dynamics. In other words, you have 2, which we already talked about being an accent, right? 1, 2, the duh would be quieter, and then 3, you know, would be a little louder. So you have sort of like a loud accent on 2. The quietest note would be the skip note. And then 3 would be the loudest, the next loudest note. So in succession, the loudest would be 2 and 4. The next loudest would be the downbeats, 1 and 3. And the quietest would be the skip note, right? And truthfully, you should be good at loosening or tightening your swing. You should be able to do both. You should be able to do it closer to the triplet or closer to the 16th note. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set a metronome, 1 tempo. I don't know, let's pick like nothing too quick because I want you to be able to really hear it. Maybe like 115, right? And I want to keep the tempo the same, but I want to show you the difference as I go from a very open swing to a very tight swing. Be right back after a word from no sponsors. Okay, so I got a metronome clicking at 115. So I'm going to start this with kind of a Ringo-ish swing, very open, very open. I'm actually, you know, I don't think I'm as good at that. I think my swing's a little tighter, but we're going to do it. We're going to show you a nice open swing, as open as I can get it. Very close to the Ringo idea, but more like the you know, Spang-a-lang. I'm not going to be doing cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. I'm going to be doing Spang-a-lang. Okay? Here we go. Nice and open. Same thing. Let's stay right there. I'm going to do my own kind of swing, right? My own at 115. A little tighter. All right. Now let's go closer to the Tony Williams idea. All right? All right. So you can see, same tempo, different styles of swing, and within that, I mean, it's not this, or this. That's not it's going to be this style or this style. That's like a little graph of you can be anywhere within that. What feels good to you? The point is that you're consistent. Right? Now, whatever you're doing in that song is what you do. I still get the metronome clicking because the stuff I'm using to record this stuff is from like I think I got it from a Velociraptor. I think I bought it from a Velociraptor who was going out of business. Anyway, so that's the point. You don't want to think math. You want to think music. Where's the bass player putting it? Where is the guitar player putting it? Where is the piano player putting it? Where is the vocals? Where are the vocals? How are they phrasing? And that's going to affect what you do. All right? Back to you, Vince.
We just came up with a new nickname.
Oh, no, it's so good.
We got a new nickname. The Magic Man. Now you see me? Now you don't.
That was the stupidest nickname I've ever heard.
Is it, Ricky? Because I think you wish you thought of it.
All right, you got me. That's an awesome nickname.
All right. Number 3. I almost put up 2 and I said 3. Not the brightest. Nah. Okay. Number 3. This is the one that's kind of a life lesson. Okay. Once you start to put the first 2 in your playing, then there is phrasing. And, you know, when I was in Italy, and I was in Italy for about a year and a half with Carnival Cruise Lines, and I grew up, my grandmother used to speak Italian. There was a lot of little Italian in my head still. But as I started to first speak it, I really just sounded like an American speaking Italian. But as I was there over the year and a half, the more I was there, I started to sound more Italian. My inflections began to change. This is the same thing with swing. You know, the phrasing and how you approach it. What you need to do is listen to the greats. Listen to the greats. And yes, you know, the first one that comes to mind is Buddy Rich and all that. And Buddy Rich was a great player, and he had a great sense of swing. But he was more of a jazz rock guy. I know it's hard to believe, but that's really what he was, and a jazz rock, and even more of a fusion player, even though he had a big band with horns, than he was a swing player, really. In the vein of Max Roach and Art Blakey. Buddy Rich was great. I have all his records. I think I'm only missing 2. I mean, I love Buddy Rich. But if you get a call for a swing gig, or even if you're doing swing on a blues gig, they're not looking for Buddy Rich, right? So you want to listen to the guys that really live swing. Guys that weren't doing crazy chop stuff all the time, but we're swinging their beeps off, okay? Let me give you some names. Jimmy Cobb. You're going for a walk, you're going out to jog, you're going to go do something, whatever. Call up on your Spotify, whatever, Kinda Blue, Miles Davis, and listen to Jimmy Cobb. I don't think Jimmy takes a fill on that entire album, but his swing is unbelievable. Listen to how he phrases, how light he touches the snare. These are things that you need to spend a little time listening to, but let it creep in. Let it creep in. Philly Joe, listen to Milestones from Miles Davis. Oh, unbelievable. Listen to stuff he did with Count Basie. Let me put it this way. I have recordings of Philly Joe playing at like 63 beats a minute. And it's swinging. Listen to it. Let yourself be immersed in it. Art Blakey. My teacher, Joe Casadas, used to say about Art Blakey. Now, I know Art Blakey falls kind of into that early bebop time, but Art really, like he used to say, was probably the best swing player of all time. His swing and his shuffles were just unbelievable. And I feel very complimented that people will mention I listen to a lot of Art. Because of my teacher, growing up, I listened to Art all the time. And people do mention once, well, that's kind of an Art Blakey-ish swing or Art Blakey-ish shuffle. They'll mention, oh, it's kind of an Art Blakey shuffle. And that's a big compliment for me because his shuffles and his swing were so amazing. Listen to how he phrases. Listen to it. Max Roach is another one. He's another one that was in between in the swing and the bebop era. I like to listen to a lot of the stuff that Max did with Clifford Brown because that falls more in the swing era than the bebop. Although they did do a couple of bebop tunes together. And you hear how he really does accent 2 and 4. And how he plays the hi-hat so loud. So does Art. With his foot. All these little things that you need to immerse yourself in. But I'm telling you, it doesn't take forever. If you had a gig on Friday and today's Wednesday and you listened all day Wednesday and all day Thursday and all day Friday, you would have a little library of memories to start to pull from. And if you keep doing that, and then try to play along with the records, try to match Art, try to match Max, try to match Jimmy Cobb. You should play top to bottom Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. I dropped my glass. Oh, they're right here, thank God. Kind of Blue, the Miles Davis disc or album, whatever you got. You should play that in its entirety. You know, if you're young and you've not done it, you should do it, a couple times a month. You should play that album in its entirety. Try to match Jimmy Cobb's swing. Like I said, Jimmy Cobb, man. I very rarely say this about anyone that I listen to, and I got a lot of guys that I like, a lot of guys, Bill Bruford and all these people, and Nate Smith I think is incredible. But I believe that Jimmy Cobb's playing on that album is absolutely perfect. It is perfect. Absolutely. Anyway, so let me give it back to Vince and have him play you out and do a little comping just to show you some easy stuff you can begin to put in your playing right now. Take it away, Vince. I'll see you on the next one. Please support this channel because I need the support. All right, see you on the next one. I'm going to take us out with some swing at about 200 beats a minute. But I'm not going to do anything that's so crazy that you couldn't do it on your swing gig this weekend. Even if it's your first swing gig, you can play some of this stuff. Once you get a handle on the bounce, letting your fingers bounce it and accenting on 2 and 4, yes, and they're going to love you. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.